maybe you shouldn't have crimped the card. You should.
Jane Russell's a lady fixing for a big dream.
Can't you see how big this is? I'm offering you half the chips.
In a world where survival is a tall order, Clark Gable and Robert Ryan co-star in the classic western, The Tall Men. Saturday on American Movie Classics.
This is Assistant District Attorney Tommy Chamberlain, who's in love with Judge Margaret Turner, who'll sentence Richard Nugent to prison.
I hope we have been inconvenienced.
If he doesn't go out with her Bobby-Soxer sister Susan, who thinks Nugent's her knight in shining armor. Got all that? Well, you will when you see Cary Grant,
Mellow greetings, Yuki Doogie.
Myrna Loy, Shirley Temple, and Rudy Valley in the delightfully breezy comedy, The Bachelor and the Bobby-Soxer. Saturday.
How can humble servant be of assistance?
A cinema's favorite super sleuth is back.
Good detective never asks what and why until after he sees.
Watch Charlie Chan's astonishing crime-solving techniques. He'll crack mysteries, wrap up murder cases, and blow the lid off organized crime.
This is surgical birthplace of new faces.
If you like classic mischief,
Mischief sounds nice.
the clue is not to miss our month of mayhem with Charlie Chan right here on AMC. Next, on American Movie Classics, opera singers are having their solos cut short by murder. Charlie Chan is called on to save the day. Charlie Chan at the opera. It's next on American Movie Classics.
The World War I epic Wings. Wednesday on American Movie Classics.
This is a lovely way.
Who was that singing down here? Bing Crosby?
American Movie Classics presents
The music stopped,
a very young Old Blue Eyes.
and people were glancing.
He isn't half bad, Millie.
Baby, I should
Let
have
Frank
seen you
Sinatra
sooner.
take you higher and higher. Wednesday on American Movie
Think you could
Classics.
ever stand a crooner.
That's Jerome Herman Dean, the Dizzy Dean we've all been hearing about.
He had drive and ambition, but most of all, he had heart.
There's been some teachers saying that I've been learning bad English for the kids of St. Louis. Me, I never thought I was doing nothing except telling how a ball game was happening play by play.
Dan Daly stars in the classic biography of baseball legend Dizzy Dean, the pride of St. Louis. Thursday on American Movie Classics.
American Movie Classics presents Newsreel Theater, featuring rare newsreel footage of historic people and events.
Here is a day apart from all others that comes only once a year in cities and towns the country over. The day when traditionally more grandmothers are buried, more toothaches are suffered, more apartments broken than on any other day of the year. This, in millions of American minds, is almost a ritual that must be religiously observed, for such is the hold that opening day has upon the people. They call baseball the national sport, the great American game. And who is to deny it? Where else do you find a better cross-section of citizenry than in these teeming tiers where bankers, bakers, ribbon clerks, and housewives occupy adjacent seats, all ready to react to the familiar cry of "play ball"? What is there about this game that appeals so much to its followers? Well, the average fan likes action and drama, and that in essence is what baseball gives him. There's the smashing climax of a game-winning home run. The split-second teamwork and grace in a lightning-like double play. The consummate artistry of a pitcher pouring in his high hard one. In the light of its stature, it is only fitting that the game should have established its own permanent shrine to honor and mark its growth and progress. Here at Cooperstown, New York, where Abner Doubleday reputedly invented the sport in 1839, and where old-time greats gathered for its dedication ceremonies, are the mementos and milestones of the game. Here, too, is an elected hall of fame for those whose deeds brought them fame as enduring on the pages of our social history as that of great warriors, scientists, and statesmen. Such men as Ty Cobb, the base-stealing Georgia Peach. Walter Johnson, one of the all-time pitching greats. Rogers Hornsby, magnificent hitter. Tris Speaker, outfielder par excellence. And the man whose name is more synonymous with baseball than any, Babe Ruth, whose booming bat set home run records that may stand forever. Only history will prove whether today's heroes will reach the same heights. But in one respect, they have far outstripped the old masters. Such stars as Ted Williams draw the pay of corporation presidents. And some modern critics do question whether there was an old-timer with more all-around artistry and team value than Stan the Man Newsreel. Nor did all-time heroes know a brand of idolatry which today's fans bestow upon their favorites, such as the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio. Their measure of devotion includes that phenomenon known as a day. When they gave DiMaggio a day, they pulled out all the stops, pushed upon him a fortune in gifts ranging from motorboats and television sets to a 4-year college scholarship for any boy Joe might choose. Yes, perhaps this is something more than a game. We might even call it a heritage, something that takes early root and nourishment and keeps filtering down through succeeding generations to perpetuate itself. Thus is organized baseball assured of a constant flow of talent. And here actually is where it starts, on the sandlots. But although there is no end to the raw material, the major league clubs must beat the bushes to uncover the very best prospects. No town is too small or inaccessible for a network of ivory hunters. And every high school and college star soon has a scout on his trail, talking contract. A boy's signature will sometimes bring 10, 20, 50, even recently $100,000 in this highly competitive treasure hunt. Now, in back of every big league club is the farm system it must have to cultivate its constantly needed replacements. Here, Branch Rickey, president of the Brooklyn Dodgers, the father of the farm system, checks the master chart with Fresco Thompson, his chief field hand. Listed here is every club in the Brooklyn chain, along with a diamond dossier of every seedling in the system. Rickey can tell at a glance when a man is ready to be transplanted to a better league. Spring is the planting season, and spring training brings out the farm hands and old hands alike for a 6-week session in the South. Unlike other big league teams, the Dodgers bring into Vero Beach, Florida, practically every club and player they own, and the result is truly baseball's biggest processing plant. An operation this size calls for streamlined measures, such as a mechanical pitcher. Not only is there much to be learned by the newcomers, but baseball reflexes and the little tricks of the trade must be sharpened after a long winter's layoff. Here the pitchers practice their moves to pick a man off base. Old-timers say it's the base on balls which shortens a manager's life, and always the accent is on control, the ability to nip that corner. Throwing through a framed-in strike zone is another Dodger spring tactic. Ball games are won and lost on a player's ability to hit the dirt. Now, not only does spring training prepare the players for the long grind ahead, but the attendant ballyhoo gets the fans in shape, too. Who's on first isn't just a comedian's gag line, and for the fans, every development is a major one. As a result, press and radio coverage has assumed truly big story proportions. Throughout the regular season, baseball continues to occupy a high level in news value. Every game, every angle that might affect a pennant race must be explored and weighed by the experts. The experts being the sports writers assigned by their local papers to every big league team. These men make all the road trips with the club because there's a certain breed of fan back home that will settle for nothing less than a full report on a relief hurler's hangnail. An entire newspaper is devoted to the game, the sporting news, the baseball Bible as far as the fans are concerned. So big is baseball today that there must be a well-defined method of regulating the sport. Top man is Commissioner Albert B. Chandler, who succeeded the late Judge Landis. Although Chandler is supreme authority, each major league has its own president. Here is Will Harridge, head of the American League. Boss of the National League is Ford Frick, a former sports writer who once headed his league's publicity office. Now it takes more than 9 men to make a baseball team, and a glimpse behind the scenes indicates how much detail goes into the operation of a multi-million-dollar club. A Major League diamond must be manicured to an almost billiard table smoothness and kept that way every day of the season. Most big league plants are real showcases, and every one of the thousands of seats in the park must reflect the high quality of performance on the field. And as every ballpark operator knows, the public wouldn't know it was at a ball game without certain embellishments that go with it. Many parks have a press right on the premises to print up the scorecards with which the really rabid rooters chart every play of the game. It costs a small fortune, too, just to equip a ball club. Each man must have 2 uniforms, home and road. The only things the club doesn't provide for the player are his glove and shoes. During a single year, a major league club will use almost 12,000 baseballs. Baseball is a tough, demanding sport, stretched over 154 games a year, and a team trainer and physician play a bigger part in the box scores than most people and many players realize. But as far as the public is concerned, the man most responsible for the rise or fall of their favorites is the manager. True, his material plays a great part, but men like Bert Schotten of the Dodgers, conferring here with his coaches, must get the most out of what is available. He has to be a working psychologist as well as a brilliant tactician. must know how to handle every type and temperament on the roster. And in baseball, this often runs a wide range. In many respects, the starting lineup, which he must make out each day, represents both an end and a beginning of his ability and judgment. For each day presents another conflict, another climax. This, then, is baseball, a game that is tied in so closely with the American way of life. For here in this game are many of the qualities found in the people themselves: color, courage, and a capacity for clean and unfettered competition. Here is a wholesome holiday that means so much to so many, that provides them with thrills and excitement beyond criticism. This is truly American in scope, in attitude, in execution. No wonder that even its rallying call has been a national watchword for a century. Listen well. You've heard it before, and you'll hear it again. Listen to our most familiar cry as it rings across America. Play ball.
You're watching American Movie Classics.
Ah, spring. What a young man's fancy turns to chemistry. And when Ray Milland discovers a formula for strikeouts...
Wow! What kind of a ball was that?
You've got the ingredients for a surefire hit.
He's done it. Abby's done it. He's picked a no-hit, no-run game.
This is getting monotonous, boys.
It happens every spring.
I'm really going to enjoy this.
Saturday on American Movie Classics.
The Indians call it the River of No Return. From here on, you'll find out why.
A river leads three people to face their sordid pasts.
You know it. He knew who you were. He knew where you came from and what you did. He knew you killed a man and went to prison for it. And why you went to prison? Because you shot him in the back.
Robert Mitchum and Marilyn Monroe star in Otto Preminger's classic film, River of No Return. Sunday on American Movie Classics.
October means festivals, comedies, and a cavalcade of stars. And American Movie Classics is set to bring out the best. Watch Carole Lombard, one of America's most versatile actresses, as she tantalizes in Bolero, romances in name only, nurses in Vigil in the Night, muses in Nothing Sacred, and cavorts in Alfred Hitchcock's comedy, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Well, I always say that a man's true character comes out when he's had one drink too many.
All part of the Carole Lombard Festival. Then, it's a close encounter of the supernatural kind when Bud Abbott and Lou Costello have the time of their lives.
I thought you were a ghost.
AMC gets into the spirit of Halloween with a night of fright. Monsters, ghouls, ghosts, and terror take over the silver screen in I Walked with a Zombie, The Seventh Victim, The Innocents, Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, and The Body Snatcher with Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff. Also in October, AMC spotlights its original programming. Jerry Lewis is the featured guest of Professor Richard Brown in his exclusive series, Reflections on the Silver Screen.
Trust me, I was one of the first in Hollywood to ever use that expression.
And join Bob Dorian as he travels to the Sunshine State, home of Burt Reynolds and the Disney MGM Studios, for a look at Florida's contributions to the film industry in AMC Salutes Florida. Also, make way for the story of Dizzy Dean, the great baseball pitcher whose unorthodox manner helped him rise to fame. Dan Daly stars in The Pride of St. Louis.
I don't figure to be around this league long enough to know, Mr. Bishop. Figure to be with the St. Louis Cardinals in just a couple of weeks.
It's a fall full of fright, fun, and festivals, all through October on AMC.
Sometimes we're so close to something, we just don't see it clearly. All over the world, people are struggling for liberty, a basic right we already have. No one says we've reached the mountaintop yet, but we have the freedom to be heard. We have the right to vote. Let's not lose sight of freedom.
In the last presidential election, only half of us exercised our freedom to vote. Let's celebrate freedom. Vote.